Hello friends, so myself Shrikant here and today we have a guest Prasad Lele. He's primarily into performance testing QE and I had a chance to work with him in my earlier companies. So let's get started. So before that I would want to show Prasad's profile on LinkedIn. Okay, so Prasad is currently working as a performance architect, designing scalable high throughput systems, BFSI payments and microservices. So let's go through his profile. He has worked as an associate test lead in quality kiosk technologies, then lead quality control in Synchron, then in Continuum as a senior software engineer, then in ConnectWise he was up to the principal quality engineer one. This is where I had a chance to work with him, and currently he's working as a test manager in BNP Paribas as a performance engineering. So welcome Prasad, and over to you. Can you please introduce yourself shortly?
Sure. Thank you, Shrikant, for inviting me. Uh, I'm working from last 1 decade in the performance engineering on the high throughput system in the BFSI domain, that is banking, finance, and payment systems. So I have got chance to work on very high scale systems with high throughputs. And mostly my focus is on identifying the bottlenecks uh, and inform the team regarding the what are the what would be the issues in the system in the production system. Currently, I'm working with the developers, architect, and the business analyst to identify the performance issue in early stage of the software development cycle.
All right. So just I want to mention one thing. People who are in performance or this kind of domain, they're very rare. The count is very less, and it's difficult to get this kind of people on board. So I'm lucky that you are on board for this particular podcast. So thank you, and let's get started.
Thank you.
Okay.
Sure.
So as I do the same thing, the same format. Um, for all the guests. So, your career journey and all, yeah, we have seen mostly. So, from interview preparation perspective, let's say somebody wants to try the or go into performance testing at a junior level, senior level, or as a lead level. So, what are the key 3 to 4 points you would want them to be prepared? Let's say some resume tips or interview perspective. So, can you elaborate on this?
Okay. So for junior level, basically we mostly focus on the what what are different tools he has worked on. Yeah, then writing the test cases in term means designing the workload means idea. This type of questions we ask basically is mostly on the tool related. What is the passing? What is customization? How you can write the test cases based on the your workload or based on the requirement, that type of question we ask. Then at a senior level, we generally focused on the workload design related questions. We give different scenarios and what is his approach to resolve that issue. Basically, let's say if it is the banking system, right? In the banking system, what type of workload we can expect, what he has worked on. And at a senior or 10 plus years of experience, we generally ask the question on the tuning, performance tuning, expect what are different APM tools he has worked on, and how he identifies the issue, how he resolves the issue, that type of question we ask.
Okay, okay. Yeah, sounds interesting. So Regarding the upskilling roadmap, so obviously there are YouTube videos and there are a lot of courses online. But then, what is your tip on upskilling in terms of performance testing?
Basically, in the performance testing, you need to mostly focus on the how system how system will react in the means what is the production scenario, right? So in production scenario, if there are different type of loads which will occur in peak load, stress load. So how you can design how you closely design that workload and how you design that system or how you tune that system to more realistic way, right? So for upskilling, basically, you need to first focus on if you are from the automation background. First, you need to choose select any tool and from that tool, you need to basically understand how system behaves, and you need to write down the test cases. You need to design the workload, and you need to simulate that. So this is for the any automation tester or junior level person. But if at the senior level, if you want to grow, means at senior level, basically you need to identify what it causes the slowness, right? So what it caused the failure. This type of a mindset you should have. And once you master this, you should able to resolve this issue. If it is a slowness related to the database, then you should able to identify the queries, and you should help the developer with this query to tune those queries, different parameters related to database, different parameters related to your app servers or what are the systems you have. So how this can impact the performance that you should understand.
Okay. Just a tangent on this. See, for example, if somebody is in the functional part, right? So they can try out different frameworks. They can do, let's say, different types of testing, regression, security testing, some other types of testing. But nowadays, based on my experience, normally nobody does performance testing on local system. It is mostly on the cloud. And if you want to upskill, that means you want to try something, fail something and then understand something. So there's a cost associated with it. Either
Yes.
either you do your personal AWS setup or probably some corporate setup. So how do you look at it?
Basically, performance main challenge in the setting up the performance lab is the cost, right? Because you cannot test on the local, and you will guarantee or you will predict that this will happen in the production. Performance testing is simulation of the production. So you have to set up the production equivalent setup, and you have to test on that. Then only you can predict or guess what could be the issue. So for any person, if he want to upskill or he want to try out, he can try out that in the he can learn the tools. He can do a small test on his laptop or on his personal cloud. But to give the sign off or to have that confidence of the go live, you should do a performance testing on performance equivalent setup. There is no other way around for that.
Okay. So we cannot get away from the cost factor, but yes,
Yes,
definitely if we try something, obviously we'll learn something and there is a reward for it. Wherever
yes.
you go for a job or a company or anywhere, there is a reward for it. Okay, makes sense. Hmm. Okay, moving on. So typical challenges in terms of performance testing every day. I know there will be many challenges, but top 2 to 3 challenges, can you specify?
Basically, at which stage you are in the performance testing in your organization. So at early stage, as I explained, setting up the performance lab and getting that performance environment because it involves the cost. it involves the setup, right? So you need a team to set up the performance environment. You should have, you need to maintain that performance environment. So it requires means equivalent cost of the production, right? If you are on the AWS, uh, you'll have to pay those charges to set up that performance environment. So at early stage, the performance environment setup is the challenge. Then a challenge is the actual the getting those workload scenarios, right? So basically, this is something very technical. Performance testing is something very technical, and you need to get those details from the business persons, right? So you need to explain them the work, what is the workload, what you are doing, what you are trying to predict. So these type of question that is really makes challenge in the performance engineer.
Okay,
So
makes sense. Yeah, yeah, tell me.
yes. So basically, these are challenges that was I was telling.
Okay. Um, yeah, seems very practical. But many times I've seen, based on at least my experience, typically, uh, people who are on site, or if you're getting requirement from remote place, okay, those business people, male, female, they may not have much background. Okay, so
Right.
it may be that they are in that position for some XYZ reason. Okay, so how do you explain a particular scenario? Walk me through a typical scenario. Like, how do you explain to that person?
Right. So basically, if you understand his position and his experience in the technical expertise, in that fashion, you need to design your question, right? If it is particular typical business person who don't have any experience in the uh, technical domain, then you have to explain him like actually in the production what will happen when you say the real users, when you see the TPS, right? He will not understand the TPS. So you need to go little bit at more lower level and say the users. What is the transaction? When you say the transaction, okay, if a single person uh, will log in, then it will do some activity and it will log out. So this is what business transaction is, right? So it will put load on the system. So this type of activity, if there are 1,000 users and 1,000 users are doing this activity simultaneously, there will be the load on the system. This is what we are trying to prove. So at different, depending on the you know level of his understanding, we need to design our question and we need to get those details.
Okay, yeah, very practical case. Okay, so let's proceed. Let's proceed to the main agenda. Uh, so typically, based on my experience anyway, and in typical in industry, normally people join as a functional QE or functional side, and then they explore. So I'm saying like 95, maybe 95%. So if somebody want to transition from QE to performance QE, what are the first two, three steps to explore, to try, and then you can say that, okay, I'm an eligible person for considering as a performance QE.
Okay, basically, see, transition from the functional or automation QA to performance QA is really one challenging step for means it's not only that technical, it's behavior change you need to thinking change you need to bring. First thing, in the functional testing or in the automation testing, you focus on the uh, testing typical links, right? All the links, all the buttons. But in the performance testing, you need to focus on the what is important, what will cause the system to fail. So in this perspective, you need to think. If there are 1,000 users, they are parallel users and they are performing some activity, which are important business scenarios. So you need to think from different perspective than the what automation tester or functional tester does. So this behavior change you need to do. Second thing is the next important thing is a tool. Definitely you need to learn the tools. Basically, what I have seen in many organization, automation these automation testers, they learn the JMeter, they perform some test on their local system or their QE. They perform 1,000 transactions and they submit the report. Okay, I have tested the system for 1,000 transactions. This is working fine, but in the production it fails. Why this happens? Because this mindset you need to think from the production perspective. In production, you will get those 1,000 requests in parallel, right? So are you able to simulate that in parallelly? What is the different mixture of this request? If there are some, if you say the typical banking example, there would be some this balance inquiry transaction, there will be some fund transaction, there will be some beneficiary, someone will add a beneficiary. So you need to combine these different transactions and this mix you need to simulate. So this is what you need to, from the thinking perspective, this change you need to bring.
Yeah, seems very practical, and obviously the I had even the same mindset. Typically, also I've seen functional people will do something on the QE environment and probably submit a report, and that might be signed as a green light from management. But the reality is different. It's basically the mindset what you're saying. Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Typically, most common defects in performance engineering. So, can you highlight like top 2 to 3 defects based on your experience?
Yes. Defect in terms of at high level, it's CPU, memory, response time, CPU, memory, and the yeah, failure rates. These are three factors on which we measure the system performance, right? So basically, first defect we observe is the high response time. Then you need to go and find out the what it costs to makes the system slow. So now you need to drill down which layer it is. This call is slow. It is at the database level, it is at the application level, or it is at the network level. Most of the time, it is at the database level. It might be a connection, it might be a slow queries. So you need to identify with different tools and you can fine tune that.
Okay, you're saying some database level. So, I'm a bit surprised actually. So, normally we write some code, developer write some code, some API, okay, Java, Python, something, some in backend, and we have a certified what do you say, production ready database which are ready made using, for example, let's say MySQL or PostgreSQL. Now, how is
Okay.
this database related? Can you elaborate?
Okay. Basically, if you write a query which is scanning whole table, and if there are millions of record, this will cause your query to perform very slow, right? So you need to have proper indexes, you need to have proper partitioning on the tables. So these are different parameters at which you can tune the query. So if you don't have the indexes on the table, your query performance will be very slow.
Okay, in that sense you are saying. Okay, okay.
Yes.
Um, can I ask, like, is it about database connections, like parallel connections or something?
See, this is mix of multiple effects, right?
Mm, mm.
So there is a connection pool in the application. So how many maximum connection allowed at the database level? Okay. If you have very less connection pool and number of users are very high, then system will choke at this connection level, connection pool level, right? But also if the query performance is very slow, right? query will be, means this transaction will be have high engage time with the database, let's say 5 seconds, 3 seconds. So this will also cause the connection failure because one connection is not completed within that time and remaining connections are waiting to connect to database. So basically, multiple you need to think from different angle. You need to check different logs, different parameters, and you need to come to some conclusion what it caused the issue.
Okay, okay, interesting. So you're saying database related, some are related to CPU and probably some RAM memory related, right?
Yes.
Okay. So moving on, why running JMeter scripts is not uh, enough anymore?
Yeah, as I explained earlier, right?
Hmm.
So you need to think from the perspective of the production. What will happen in the production? So many time I have seen that means automation engineers they learn the JMeter and they run this test script from their local or from the in the QA environment where you need to see whether data is enough or not, whether this your load injector is in the same network of this application is there or not. So different, yeah, this performance setup is very important. So running only JMeter script will give is not enough because of it will give you just a single user performance. You need to think from the production perspective. What will happen in the production?
Okay. So, so the simple scenario is not enough, but the combination of different scenarios, the practical scenarios and the load, simultaneous load or parallel load, uh, that should be utilized.
Yes.
Okay. Then, I was thinking like, is it about the tool that apart from JMeter we have to use another tool or something, or any other tool you can suggest? Let's say some open source.
See, JMeter is open source tool. Definitely, this is you can use this. Then there are different tools like HP Load Runner, where this is not open source. You need to pay for license. Uh, these are mainly means these two tools are mainly used in this performance testing sector.
Okay. Okay. Right. So moving on, understanding workload modeling, capacity planning, and latency behavior. So let's talk one by one. So workload modeling, is it the same what you discussed, or you want to elaborate on this?
Yes, let's basically get more detailed understand. What is the workload, right? So basically, this is the very tough question. We need to means this is a tough question in sense of you are translating your technical technical question into the actual practical at business level, right? So you first what you need to tell means getting details is really tough. First thing you need to get these details from the means what will happen in the production. No, basically you will get answer nobody knows what will happen in the production, right? So basically now you need to try to predict something. How much percentage of this functionality will be used will get used in the production? How much percentage of different means you need to focus on different functionalities, their mixture, and you need to adjust that in the JMeter. Basically, as I explained, like balance inquiry. This is more in the banking. This is around 70 to 80% workload this will contribute, right? So, based on your past experience, based on the this requirement from the different stakeholders. You need to design this workload and you need to simulate in the production performance environment.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Moving on. Capacity planning.
Okay, capacity planning means the how much hardware you require, right? So is one server is enough or you need a five servers? So this is what output of the performance testing. So if you know that there would be 1,000 users in next 3 years, right? So how much hardware I need to procure? That this question will this test this this will be the answer of this question.
Okay. So hardware planning, basically hardware capacity planning. Okay.
Hmm.
Yeah. Now, in the interest of time, let's see some small topic. Okay. Latency behavior. Yeah. So understanding latencies and how it impacts practical use case.
Latency, basically, it is a response time, right? This is what your face of the organization to the customer, right? If this response time is very high, your customer will be more get more annoyed, right? So your reputation will be on the stake because of this your product, right? So you need to there is this customer satisfaction index, right? If your application is more stable, is fast enough, and this fault tolerant, or there is no error in the because of the load, then your your reputation will grow. Yeah, consider you are using any application uh, which has very slow response time. What will happen? You will get annoyed, right?
Yeah. Definitely.
So, so this is what the latency behavior means.
Mm.
So you
So,
need to keep some threshold on this.
so I want to highlight one some old survey here. Maybe I've read it like 5, 6 years back. So some Amazon search, they delayed by 100 millisecond and they were in loss for millions. There was a survey. I don't remember the exact article. So they wanted to understand the latency thing. So latency is very, very important, I would say, especially let's say search engine and e-commerce. So if you search something and if you're not getting the response in, you know, like very delayed or within stipulated time, there are chances even if you sell slow, even if you sell at a cheaper price, people will go to different platform because it is a mindset.
Yes.
Okay, interesting. Okay. Um, right. In the interest of time, let's see what other topic we can cover. Um, yeah, okay, let's say the first one. So how to identify the scalability risk before the single line of code is deployed. Seems interesting. In the interest of time, yeah, quickly.
Okay. Basically, from the architecture diagram, you can try to predict what where would be the bottleneck. So, if there are how systems are connected, what will be the load on the database? So, this is how you can try to predict which would be the bottleneck in the future.
Okay. Any other realistic example? Like you found some issues because of this? Any your previous example?
Like this, before writing single code.
Uh-huh.
Uh, okay, basically, I have not came across this. Basically, performance means till now this left shift approach in the performance testing just started in the recent last 2 years, but this is something really the organization need to start working on.
Okay. So probably when we are planning something, the design phase, or maybe the sprint zero thing. That time only if we give inputs uh, from planning perspective, from performance testing perspective, it will save a lot of time, efforts, and probably money also later, right?
Yes, yes,
Mm. Okay. Um, Log analysis, right? Logging things. So yeah, obviously the logs are very important. Quickly on
yes.
the logs part, how do you see the logs, like any tool, and then how do you analyze the logs or any dashboard quickly?
Okay, basically in the logging, there are different tools like Splunk or Kibana. Uh, I don't remember that. It is open source tool, Kibana, I think, uh, from the Apache. And these tools help you to for the log analysis. If let's say there are 10 servers, and if you want to find out the particular issue in the system, then it is not practical way to log into the every server and search through all the log files and find out the issue. But these tools definitely help us to identify uh, uh, quickly where is what was the issue, what was the exception, and we can share these details with the developer to fix that code.
Okay, so sort of a log aggregation, you are saying.
Yes, yes. And Dynatrace is basically observability tools. It is more than logging. Basically, when you do a performance test, a system is slow, you can go and identify which component was slow. Basically, if it is app server, if it is DB server in the app server, if this coding is modular based, which model is slow, you can share these details with the developer. If it is because of the query, if it is because of the heap utilization, so different you need to analyze and find out this.
Okay. Yeah, I think it was a good discussion, at least to start with. And um, obviously, it's a whole new world, performance testing. So definitely, if time permits, probably we'll have multiple sessions. But yes,
Sure.
uh, for now, thank you for your time, Prasad, and good to meet you once again.
Thank you, Srinath. Thank you, Shrikant.
Okay. See you. Thank you.
See you.